Hello students, today we are going to cover the topic development of resources, sustainable development and the resource planning. Now I want all of you to go through the chapter first so that you are able to understand what I am speaking. We know that resources are vital for human survival as well as for maintaining the quality of life. The life that we are living is only possible because we are using resources and we are believing or taking these resources as the free gift of nature, and that is the reason we are not using them properly. We are using them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problems. Now students, here three problems are there. Number one, that is depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals. You have to learn all these 3 points. Number one, we are using them indiscriminately. That means that when we do not need at that time also we use them, or we use more than we are required to use. Second है accumulation of resources in few hands. It means that the poor have none and the rich have so much. It means that the rich are using resources that is more than the requirement, and poor are not having as per the requirement. Third, indiscriminate exploitation of resources. Now we are using so many gadgets and electronic and electrical items which are resulting in the ozone layer depletion, environment pollution, global warming and land degradation. Now here one activity is there, that imagine if the oil supply gets exhausted one day, how would this affect our lifestyle? We know that fuel, crude oil, petrol, that is must. Without it we cannot survive. So here one activity is there. I would like you to conduct that activity if it is possible after the lockdown is ended. Okay. Now we come to the next slide, that is related to the sustainable development. Now here they have given the explanation of the sustainable development. Now I am reading it here to you so that you are also reading it simultaneously with me and are able to understand. An equitable distribution of resources has become essential for a sustained quality of life and global peace. If the present trend of resource depletion by a few individuals and countries continues, the future of our planet is in danger. Now we know that we are using resources more than it is required. So we have to use them wisely, judiciously, so that we are able to save it for our future generation. Now further we are reading, therefore resource planning is essential for sustainable existence of all forms of life. Sustainable existence is a component of sustainable development. In the present scenario, students, you might be reading, listening or watching that due to the lockdown, all the industries had stopped working. all the vehicles have stopped plying on the road, and that is the reason their pollution level of the earth has decreased. Now we come to the next definition, that is sustainable development. You have to learn this. Sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment. Number one condition is that we do not have to damage the environment. Second one is, and development in the present, whatever development we are doing, that should not compromise. Now pay attention to the word compromise. Compromise with the needs of the future generation. So, in other words, sustainable development is a development in which we are using our resources wisely and judiciously without damaging our environment and saving it for future generation. Now for this sustainable development, there was one summit that is known as the Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit 1992. It took place in June 1992, where more than 100 heads of the states means countries, they met in Rio de Janeiro, which is in Brazil, and this summit was the first international summit, and this summit was convened to address the environmental problem, that is, which one is that? Environmental protection and socio-economic development at the global level. Now why we are saying it at the global level? Because in this summit 100 countries took part. Heads of 100 countries took part, and they assembled leaders. They all signed the declaration. Which declaration? Declaration on global climatic change and biological diversity. Now you have to keep this in mind. They signed the declaration on global climatic change and biological diversity, and this Rio Convention endorsed the global forest principles and adopted Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. Now we will know more about the Agenda 21 here. Now what is Agenda 21? This is the declaration, and declaration was signed by the world leaders at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED, which took place in Rio de Janeiro. We have already talked about that Earth Summit, Rio de Janeiro, where Agenda 21 was signed. And what was the aim of this agenda? The aim of the agenda was to achieve global sustainable development. How? By combating environmental damage, poverty, disease. How? Through global cooperation. All will cooperate in that on common interest, because interest is common. All want to combat the poverty, all want to combat the environmental damage, and it is their need. So need is mutual. All need this. You know the word meaning of the word mutual. And when the need is mutual, the interest is common, so responsibility will be shared among them. Now, one major objective of the Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. We will discuss about it afterwards when we will be discussing about the planning. Okay. Now, next one is planning. What is the planning? Now, resource planning in a country like India, and we know that our country is diverse. It has diverse physical divisions, diverse needs, diverse population, and so many things. Mainly, we are talking about the physiographic divisions. I have already taught you, and I had told you in the 9th class also, that you have to keep in mind the physiographic divisions. If you have forgotten that, you just revise that chapter again so that you know the part which particular type of physiographic division belong to. Now we know that there are regions which are rich in the certain types of resources but are deficient in some other resources, and there are some regions which can be considered self-sufficient in terms of the availability of resources, and there are some regions which have acute shortage of some vital resources. What does it mean? That some regions are rich in some type of resources and they may be deficient in other types of resources. For example, the states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh are rich in minerals and coal deposits. Now we come to here. Arunachal Pradesh has abundance of water resources but lacks in infrastructural development. Now we are talking about Arunachal Pradesh. We have to keep in mind that Arunachal Pradesh is the mountainous region. So it is difficult to develop infrastructure. In the same manner, the state of Rajasthan, it is hot desert type area. So hot area है तो solar or wind energy we can produce there, but there is a lack of water resources. And in the same manner, the cold desert of Ladakh is relatively isolated from the rest of the country, and it has rich cultural heritage, but it is deficient in water, infrastructure and some vital minerals. Now Ladakh is the cold desert. So desert, the word suggests deficient in water. It is on the hilly area, Himalaya, high level, elevated land. So it lacks infrastructure and minerals. This calls for balanced resource planning at the national, state, regional and local levels. Now again I am speaking national, state, regional and local levels. Now again there is activity. Prepare a list of resources found in your state and also identify the resources that are important but deficit in your state. In that manner, if you will search for it, you are having a free time in your hands. If you will search for it, you can make a note of it and we can discuss it afterwards in the class, and you will have the rich knowledge related to the resources of the particular state. Now we move further for the next slides. Now we come to the resource planning in India. Students, this is the most important part of the chapter, that how to plan, how should we plan resources. Now resource planning, it is a complex process. Before I speak further, I want to tell you that it is a three stages process. Number one, there is identification and inventory of resources across the regions of the country. First of all, we have to identify and we have to find out which type of resources are there in which type of the regions of the country. Then we have to survey, we have to do mapping work, and we have to find out the quality and quantity of the particular resources of it. Then second stage is evolving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology. Now already we have studied that to transform a material into a resource, we need technology and we need skill, we need institutions, and we need implementation of the resource development plans. And the third and the most important is that we have to match this resource development plan with the overall national development plans. Now we know that India is making concerted efforts for achieving the goals of resource planning right from the first 5-year plan launched after independence, because you have already studied about that in the 8th class. Now what you have to do, one more activity is there. What resources are being developed in your surroundings by the community, village, panchayats, ward level communities with the help of community participation. Now we move further. Now we come to the next point, that is the availability of resources is a necessary condition for the development of any region. We know the region is known to be developed when there is full of resources that is required by the people there. But mere availability of resources in the absence of corresponding changes in technology and institutions may hinder development. Means we are having the raw material, but we do not have the technology, we do not have the institution to transform them into the usable resource, then the development will be hindered. There are many regions in our country that are rich in resources, but these are included in the economically backward regions. On the contrary, there are some regions which have a poor resource base, but they are economically developed. Now you have to find out which regions are lacking in particular type of resources and which regions are rich in resources but they are not able to develop them. Again I am speaking, you have to find out which regions are developed, which regions are having resources but they are not developed regions, and which regions are lacking in resources. Now here it is there. Can you name some resource rich but economically backward regions and some resource poor but economically developed regions? Give reasons for such a situation. Now we know from the ancient times the colonizers have exploited our resources, and that is the reason we are not able to develop our countries, because at that time they have exploited, not only used, they have exploited our resources, and that is the reason we are still not able to develop as we must develop. Okay.